We got super tired of using a lot of tools to create content. I run a content marketing agency. We're focused on creating authentic content. But we quickly realized that creating authentic content at scale for, you know, startups and unicorns alike was just a lot of work to do. So we decided to do something about it. On any given day, we use a combination of Linear for project management. We use Dropbox Paper to write the content, Google Docs to write some of the content. We use Grammarly to edit and review the content alongside a couple of reviewers. We use Short.io for short links, Buffer to schedule social media content, Google Analytics to track performance, and all these in multiple Google Sheets. It was just a lot. So we decided to do something about it. And we built Boki, which is an AI-powered content marketing co-pilot. So think about this. While we can create authentic content, we needed something to focus on all the other mundane parts of content creation. And that's why we built Boki. On Boki, you can do a couple of things. On the dashboard, you can see how your content is performing. You can create expert insights. This way, you can collect insights from experts and use that information in your content. Before now, this was pretty difficult to do. Moving past this, you can also create plans. This match your campaigns. Past the plans, you can also create content briefs matching the content that you intend to create. If you work with creators internally or you work with technical writers, here you can create individual briefs and assign them to these writers. The brief obviously has information about all the content and how to get it to be great. An important piece of Boki is you can have your content briefs and your document live in the same place. So a document is just a rich text editor where you can write. We've made it fully featured. It's collaborative in real time. You can also see things like version history, and you can do some really cool things like see how wrong your content is. We don't just look at the grammar, we also look at the technical aspects of your content. So if you're a technical writer, like me, using Boki, you can see if your code blocks are wrong, if your GitHub projects are also wrong. And then some other cool thing you can do is you can see how likely your content is to show up in LLM searches. This is the rave at the moment, and we understand how important it is. So we built a logic behind this, which factors in all the experiments we've conducted, all the tests we've conducted to see what ranks for LLMs. While it's not non-deterministic at the moment, we feel like you have a higher chance if you follow the steps and the indications here. So for instance, I want to see how this content would, which is the topic is content marketing, would rank for the intent of content marketing. Just something simple. If I run an analysis, it shows you there's a 6% chance this shows up. You want to be somewhere close to like 95, 100% chance. And we go over like the keywords, the content structure, the headings, images, links. Some of these match traditional SEO patterns, but also we look at some other things like how well do you track on intents or some of the long tail keywords that LLMs could also be indexing for. So you can do this on the document. We're also shipping improvements to the documents, which you'll be surprised to see in a bit. Past the documents, you can also create things like short links, right? So if you use something like Bitly to track performance, here you can create a short link and you get full-fledged analytics of how your links are performing. You can take your short link and use it wherever. This just makes analytics on your content a lot easier. After you've published your content, a huge bottleneck currently is distributing it. So we've built a distribution center where you can create a distribution for a content by adding a title for the distribution. So I'd say my first distribution, a public URL, I'll just enter anything, Stripe documentation, assign it to myself. When I create a distribution, I can do a couple of things. I can create social media posts for the distribution. Here it says I don't have a social media account. I can connect my LinkedIn or my Twitter account. In here, I can also add tasks, and a task could be something as simple as send it to Reddit. And I can add another task that says post it in my favorite community. These are just individual manual tasks that I can eventually go ahead and complete. When I'm done with this, I know I am completed with distributing this content. Before now, you would do this on a Google Sheet. Past this, if you want to use the social scheduler in isolation, you can also do that. So you can create a social media post. First, I need to connect social accounts, but you can create a social media post. You can either post it immediately, schedule it for some time in the future, or you can save it as a draft and request a review from someone on your team. I'm going to show that in subsequent videos, but this is something you can do all in one place. Obviously, Boki is built for teams. So on Boki, you can invite members of your team as well. Other settings include the ability to control the content workflow. So in this case, we have draft, in review, scheduled, and published, but you may have a different workflow. You can also set that up here. We also have the ability to manage notifications, which is something that's super important to content operations teams. When you create content, oftentimes the assets you use, the digital assets like the videos and the images, they live on your creator's drive, on some Google Drive. And someday you go to your blog and you see the image is broken and you don't know how to fix it. In this case, with Boki, you can connect your Google Drive or connect your own Dropbox storage. So if for any reason you work with freelancers, they eventually leave the team and they take their Google accounts with them, the images you have saved wherever do not break. They don't break on your blog. So this is something you can do in Boki at the moment. Over the coming days, we're shipping improvements to Boki, including a better AI agent. Eventually, Boki will morph to becoming a content co-pilot for marketing teams.